Learn mathematics in easy ways. Tayo ngayon ay nasa quarter 3 ng grade 11 Statistics and Probability. Ang ating topic ngayon ay illustrating mean and variance of discrete random variable. Ako nga po pala, si Maestro Benj. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button for notification. Bago tayo magtungo sa ating discussion, alamin muna natin ang ibig sabihin ng expected value or mean value. The mean is considered as a measure of the central location of a random variable. It is the weighted average of the values that random variable x can take, with weights provided by the probability distribution. Sa mga nakalipas nating topic, pinag-aralan natin ang paggawa ng probability distribution. Ngayon, if we are having the random variable, ang pinakagitna ng ating random variable x, yun yung tinatawag na mean. Okay? Along the way, mapag-aaralan natin, matututunan natin kung paano kukunin ang ating mean value. Okay. Steps in computing expected value or mean value of a discrete random variable. Ang unang-una dyan, we have to multiply each possible x value by the probability of observing value. Next, we have to add the resulting quantities. Ibig sabihin, these are the two steps for us to have the mean value. So sa pagkuha ng mean value or the expected value, meron tayong formula. Expected value is equal to the mean value or is equal to the x sub 1 times the probability of x sub 1 plus x sub 2 times the probability of x sub 2 hanggang makarating tayo dun sa x sub n times the probability of x sub n. Ibig sabihin, depende sa ating given yon sa ating probability distribution. Let's have example number 1. If we are talking about die, okay? Ibig sabihin, ang ating die ay binubuo ng 6 na phases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, ibig sabihin, kung dalawang die ang gagamitin natin, yun yung tinatawag na dies. Pero kung isa lang, that is die. So, problem natin is, example number 1, we have to construct a probability distribution for rolling a single die. Find the expected value. Ibig sabihin, tayo ay magro-roll ng single die, titignan natin yung expected value na kung saan na pwede natin makuha sa ating probability distribution. Let's have first the probability distribution. So, ito yung pinaka-table natin. Sa itaas, yun yung outcome x, which is, ito yung mga possible na lumabas na mukha ng die kapag ni-roll natin is in a single roll. Okay? So, ito naman yung mga probability na pwedeng makita. So, ibig sabihin, may probability na isang beses lamang lumabas yung mukha ng die na 1 kapag ni-roll natin. Siyempre, titingnan natin yung pinaka-ibabaw or the part of the die facing up. So, ibig sabihin, kapag possible na isang beses lang lumabas si 1, 2, pwede rin naman possible na isang beses lumabas si 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, ibig sabihin, meron silang probability. Ibig sabihin, isang beses lang nalalabas ang pinakamukha ng die na yon na kung saan meron tayong 6 na mukha. So, ibig sabihin, 1/6, ito yung mga chances nila. Yung mga probability na pwedeng mangyari kapag tayo ay nag-roll ng isang die. So, we have the formula na discuss natin kanina, which is expected value, that is equal to the mean of the random variable, that is equal to x sub 1 times the probability of x sub 1 plus x sub 2 times the probability of x sub 2 hanggang depende sa ating given. Okay? So, let us substitute. So, let us substitute x sub 1. Ito yung x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, x sub 4, x sub 5, and x sub 6. So, sa x sub 1 natin, that is 1. Tapos, multiplied by, yung probability niya raw ay 1/6. Ito siya. Tapos, plus 2 times 1/6 plus 3 times 1/6 plus 4 times 1/6 plus 5 times 1/6 and plus 6 times 1/6. So hanggang kay 6 lang naman tayo kasi 6 lang naman ang phases ng die. So ibig sabihin, ulitin ko, ito po yung mga outcome x, ito yung mga nasa ibabaw na bahagi ng ating probability distribution. Ito naman, ito pong bahagi na to, yung probability of x sub 1, ito po sila. Okay? Yung probability of p of x. Now, next step po natin, i-multiply po natin yung whole number. So, alam natin na ang whole number na to is divided by 1. Understood na ang kanilang denominator ay 1. So, ang gagawin natin, 1 times 1, 2 times 1, 3 times 1, 4 times 1, 5 times 1, and 6 times 1. Yun po yung next step natin. Okay? So, we have 1 over 6 kasi 1 times 1. Kopyahin lang natin yung denominator niya. So, 2 over 6 kasi 2 times 1. We have plus 3 over 6, 4 over 6, 5 over 6, 6 over 6. Or pwede rin naman natin itong gawing 1. Kaso, let us have the 6 over 6. Tandaan natin, if we are adding fractions that has the same denominator, i-add lang natin yung mga numerator niya. Pero, etong denominator as is lang. So, hindi dapat baguhin. So, we have 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. And that is 21 over 6. And then, we come up with the final step on how to get the mean. So, we have to divide 21 divided by 6 para makuha natin yung mean. So, ibig sabihin, mean is equal to 3.5. Okay? Ito yung mga steps on how to get the expected value or the mean value. Let's take example number 2. The probabilities that a customer will buy 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 items in a supermarket are 3 over 12, 2 over 12, 1 over 12, 2 over 12, and 4 over 12 respectively. What is the average number of items that a customer will buy? Compute the variance and standard deviation of the probability distribution. Ibig sabihin, ang isang customer daw bumili ng 5 items sa isang supermarket na kung saan may probability na 3 over 12, 2 over 12, 1 over 12, 2 over 12, and 4 over 12. Kanina, sa example number 1, ang kinumpute lang natin ay mean. Pero dito sa ating example number 2, we are about to compute the mean, the variance, and standard deviation. So, unahin muna natin yung mean. So, we have the probability distribution. So, ito yung mga x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, x sub 4, x sub 5 natin sa formula. So, we have the outcome x dun sa itaas at yung probability niya which is 3 over 12, 2 over 12, 1 over 12, 2 over 12, and 4 over 12. So, these are the probability distribution. Now, let's have the formula. So, again, the formula in having the expected value or the mean value is equal to x sub 1 times the probability of x sub 1 plus x sub 2 times the probability of x sub 2 plus and so on and so forth hanggang doon sa x sub n times the probability of p of x sub n. So, ibig sabihin, depende po sa ating given. Now, let us substitute this formula. So, ang x sub 1 natin, ito po siya. So, 1. Tapos, multiplied by the probability of x sub 1. Ano nga ba yung probability in x sub 1? Diba? 3 over 12? So, ito siya. 1 times 3 over 12. So, punta naman tayo sa plus x sub 2 times 2 over 12. Kasi ang probability nito ay 2 over 12. And then, plus 3 times 1 over 12 plus 4 times 2 over 12 plus 5 times 4 over 12. Ibig sabihin, ito pong mga whole number na to, ito, yun po yung outcome x. Tapos itong mga probability, ito po yung probability of p of x. Now, ano ang next step natin? We have to multiply the whole number doon sa numerator. 1 times 3, 2 times 2, 3 times 1, 4 times 2, and 5 times 4. And we have the mean of 3 over 12 kasi 1 times 3, that is 3 over 12. Doon lang po i-multiply, hindi po sa denominator. 1 times 3 lang. Plus 2 times 2, that is 4 over 12. Plus 3 times 1, that is 3 over 12. 4 times 2, that is 8 over 12. Plus 20 over 12 kasi 5 times 4. Next, if we are adding fractions having the same denominator, okay, we are about to add only the numerators. And then you have to copy the denominator. So, ibig sabihin, 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 8 plus 20, and that is 38 over 12. Ang next step natin, we have to divide 38 by 12. So, that is, ang ating mean ay 3.17. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa mean. Susundan natin ang variance. So, variance, the variance for a random variable distribution is, ito po yung formula niya. Ito po ay Greek letter sigma. So, it identifies, the variance is denoted by a Greek letter sigma squared. That is equal to the summation. Ibig po nito sabihin, summation, ipa-plus po natin, times the quantity of x squared, times the probability of x, minus the mean squared. So, kanina nakuha natin yung mean. So, we have the probability dun sa example number 2. So, ang outcome x natin is, ito yung mga x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, x sub 4, and x sub 5. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, ito po yung mga probability nila, or the P of x. 3 over 12, 2 over 12, 1 over 12, 2 over 12, and 4 over 12. So, let us have the variance. So, kung matatandaan natin, kasama sa formula ang mean. So, ito po yung nakuha nating mean kanina, which is equal to 3.17. Okay, let us solve for the variance. So, sabing ganon, ang variance daw, which is denoted by the sigma squared, is equal to, kung titingnan natin yung x natin dito, okay, ang x natin ay ini-squared, that's multiplied by the probability of x. Ibig sabihin, ito yung mga x natin. Kaso, ini-squared daw siya, ayon doon sa formula. So, 1 squared, ito siya, multiplied by nung probability niya, 3 over 12. And then, we have to add, so yung 2, ini-squared po natin, and then times by the probability, which is 2 over 12. And then, plus 3, yung x sub 3 natin, which is, i-squared natin ayon sa formula, multiplied by the probability, which is 1 over 12. And then yung 4, squared po natin, which is 4 squared multiplied by 2 over 12. Ito po yung nasa ilalim niya, which is yung probability niya. And then plus 5, i-squared uli natin ito, multiplied by 4 over 12. Ano naman ang susunod na step? So, kailangan natin i-squared yung mga whole number na yon. Pakatandaan na if we are squaring number, we are multiplying the number by itself, not by 2, katulad nitong 3 squared. Etong 3 na to ay i-multiply natin sa sarili niya. So, ibig sabihin, 3 times 3, not 3 times 2. Okay, sa dulo, we have minus 3.17, in-squared natin yung mean, kasi ito po siya, kasama po siya sa formula. So, sinubstitute natin yung mean sa 3.17, tapos in-squared po natin siya. Now, next step, so, in-square natin yung 1. 1 squared, 1 times 1, that is 1. Tapos multiplied by 3 over 12. And then 2 times 2, that is 4. Multiplied by 2 over 12. Plus 3 squared, or 3 times 3, that is 9. Multiplied by 1 over 12. And then, plus 4 squared, or 4 times 4, that is equal to 16. Multiplied by 2 over 12. Plus 25 multiplied by 4 over 12, kasi 5 squared is equal to 5 times 5, that is 25. And then, in-square natin tong 3.17, ibig sabihin, that is 3.17 times 3.17, kaya naging 10.05. Ano naman ang next step natin? Yung mga whole number na yon, i-multiply natin doon sa numerator. Okay, 4 times 2, 9 times 1, 16 times 2, 25 times 4. So, we have 3 over 12. Bakit? 1 times 3, that is 3. Kopyahin lang natin yung denominator. And then, we have 4 times 2, that is 8. 8 over 12. Next step, 9 times 1. That is 9 over 12. Plus 16 times 2, that is 32 over 12. And then, plus 25 times 4, that is 100 over 12. Ngayon, as is lang po muna tayo rito, kopyahin lang po natin yung minus 10.05. Ano naman ang next step natin? Okay? We have to add those numerators. Okay? Kasi, we do have same denominators. Okay? In adding fractions that has the same denominators, we simply add the numerator and copy the denominators. So we have 152 over 12. 3 plus 8 plus 9 plus 32 plus 100. That is 152 over 12. Tapos we have to subtract 10.05. Next step, i-divide po natin itong 152 by 12. And that is 12.67. Okay, isubtract naman natin itong minus 10.05. And then we'll be having the variance. So variance is equal to 2.62. Sinubtract lang natin itong 12.67 minus 10.05. So we come up with 2.62. Now, na-compute na natin ang mean at variance. Iko-compute na natin ang standard deviation. Standard deviation. The standard deviation for a random variable of a probability distribution is, okay, ang ating formula is sigma is equal to the square root of sigma squared. Kung titingnan natin, itong sigma squared ay yung variance natin. Okay? Ito ang symbol natin sa standard deviation. Sigma lang is equal to the square root of sigma squared. Ito yung variance natin, which is kanina, nag-compute natin sa example number 2, ang answer niya ay variance is equal to 2.62. So, ibig sabihin, ito po ay isa-substitute natin doon sa loob. Let's solve the standard deviation. Formula, standard deviation is equal to the square root of sigma squared. Substitute natin yung sigma squared, and that is 2.62. Now, let us have the square root of 2.62. Paano natin gagawin sa calculator? Just press the square root sign, and then the 2.62, and then the equal sign. So, ang ating standard deviation is equal to 1.62. Okay? Kinonvert lang po natin to. Kaya nagkaganito into 2 decimal points. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay 1, tas may mga kasunod silang mas higher na number sa 5. Kaya naging 1.62. So, ang ating standard deviation ay equal to 1.62. Example number 3. Find the mean, variance, and standard deviation of the probability distribution. Okay. So, we have the probability distribution. We have the outcome x. Ito yung x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, and x sub 4. That is equal to 2, 4, 6, and 8. At yung probability, the p of x, which is 2 over 9, 5 over 9, 1 over 9, and 4 over 9. Let us have first the mean. Okay, compute muna natin ang mean. So, ano nga bang formula? Again and again, we have the expected value or the mean of the random variable that is equal to x sub 1 multiply the p or the probability of x sub 1 plus x sub 2 multiplied by the probability of x sub 2 and then plus x sub n multiplied by the probability of x sub n. Simple lang po. Ito po, imumultiply rito. Ang 4 imumultiply kay 5 over 9. Ang 6 ay imumultiply kay 1 over 9. At ang 8 ay imumultiply kay 4 over 9. So, let us have the solution. The mean is equal to 2. Okay, x sub 1 which is 2 times the 2 over 9. So, ito po siya. Minultiply natin. Okay, plus 4 times the 5 over 9. And then plus, we have 6. And then the 6 over 9. And then plus 8 times the 4 over 9. So, hanggang dito lang tayo kasi ito lang naman po ang given. Next step, we have to multiply the whole number by the numerator. 2 times 2, 4 times 5, 6 times 1, and 8 times 4. So, that is 4 over 9. 2 times 2, that is 4. Kopyahin lang po yung denominator. Plus, 4 times 5, that is 20 over 9. 6 times 1, that is 6 over 9. 8 times 4, that is 32 over 9. Now, we have to add fractions with the same denominator. What will be the rule? Simply add the numerator and copy the denominator. So, we have to add the 4 plus 20 plus 6 plus 32. And we will come up with 62 over 9. Again, inad lang natin yung 4 plus 20 plus 6 plus 32. And we have 62 over 9. Next step, for us to find for the mean, we have to subtract 62 over 9. And that is, mean is equal to 6.17. So, nakuha na natin ang mean, sorry. Okay, pupunta naman tayo sa pagkuha sa variance. The variance for a random variable distribution, again, we have the sigma squared, or the variance is equal to the summation of the x squared times the p of x minus the mean squared. Okay? So, ito po yung ating probability distribution table. Dun sa example number 3, we have the x of 1, x of 2, x of 3, x of 4, and its corresponding p of x. Okay, kung matatandaan natin sa pagko-compute natin ng mean, ito yung nakuha natin, which is 6.17. Again, our formula sa pagkuha ng variance, ito po siya. And then we have to substitute. Okay. Variance is equal to, kunin natin yung unang x sub 1. So, which is 2. Ngayon, according to sa formula, i-squared daw natin siya. So, 2 is squared. Tapos, multiply natin siya sa kanyang probability or the p of x, which is 2 over 9. And then, plus 4 squared, i-squared natin siya. Basta pag sa variance, ini-squared po natin yung x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub 3, and so on and so forth. Multiplied by 5 over 9. Yun po yung kaibahan niya sa mean. Sa mean po, hindi po natin ini-squared. Pero dito sa variance, we have to square the value of x or the outcome x. Okay? Next, we have 6 squared times 1 over 9. And then, 8 squared times 4 over 9. Now, ulitin ko po. Sa pag-squared po ng number, we have to multiply the number by itself, not by 2. Ibig sabihin, dito sa 6 squared, that will be 6 times 6, not 6 times 2. Please be reminded of that reminder or rule in squaring a number. If we are squaring a number katulad nitong 6 squared, we simply multiply the number by itself, not by 2. And this will become 6 times 6, not 6 times 2. And then we have, dun sa dulong formula, we have the mean squared. So yung mean natin, nakuha natin kanina, i-squared daw din po natin siya in accordance with the formula. Okay, next. So in-squared natin, 2 times 2, that is 4, times 2 over 9, plus 16, which is 4 times 4, times 5 over 9, 5 over 9, plus 36 times 1 over 9, kasi nga, 6 times 6. Plus 64 times 4 over 9, 64 kasi 8 times 8. Tapos, in-square natin yung 6.17. Ibig sabihin, 6.17 times 6.17, that is 38.07. Now, next step, we simply multiply yung whole number sa numerator. 4 times 2, 16 times 5, 36 times 1, 64 times 4. And we have 8 over 9. 4 times 2, that is 8. Plus 16 times 5, that is 80 over 9. Times 36 times 1, that is 36 over 9. And 64 times 4, that is 256 times 9. Okay? Minus 38.07. So, as is lang po tayo rito. Wala na pong dapat galawin. Next step po, we have to add 8 plus 80 plus 36 plus 256. So, denominator, copy lang po. So, we have 380 over 9. 8 times 80 plus 36 plus 256, that is 380 over 9. Tapos, minus 38.07. Ang next step po natin, ay i-divide natin itong 380 over 9. And that is 42.22. Ulitin ko po, dinivide po natin 380 divided by 9, that is 42.22. Tapos, ima-minus po natin yung 38.07. Now, for us to have the variance, subtract po natin yung 42.22 sa 38.07, and then we have the variance, which is the sigma squared, that is equal to 4.15. So, these are the steps on how to get the variance. Now, last step, we have to find for the standard deviation. Standard deviation. The standard deviation for a random variable of a probability distribution is sigma, or the standard deviation, is equal to the square root of the variance. Kung matatandaan po natin, ito po yung formula sa variance, which is sigma squared. So, papalitan lang naman natin siya. So, kung matatandaan din natin, ang answer natin sa example 3 sa variance is 4.15. So, let us take the solution. Solution for standard deviation. Standard deviation is equal to the square root of variance. So, napakadali. I-square root lang natin daw yung variance. So, palitan natin yung yung etong sign na to, which is the sigma squared. Ito po yung variance, which is 4.15. And then, we have to square root this. Paano natin pipindutin sa calculator? Square root sign. Tapos, pindutin natin yung 4.15 and then the equal sign. So, we can have the square root of 4.15 and that is 2.04. So, ibig sabihin, kinonvert po natin sa 2 decimal points. Ito po ang nangyari. So, ang ating standard deviation is equal to 2.04. So, nakuha na po natin ang ating mean, ang ating variance, and standard deviation. I hope you have learned something from me. Thank you. Again, this is Maestro Bench. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and click the bell button for notification. Bye-bye.